Happy Memorial Day to everyone watching. Hope you're enjoying the time with your friends, with your family, having some good food, doing the things you enjoy with the people you enjoy doing them with. Because that's what it's all about, guys. So take some time away from work and the old job and enjoy your life a little bit because it truly is too short. Today I thought we could just have a nice relaxing video and talk about the old Twilight Masquerade now that it's been released. So first and foremost, I want to say, I get it. I get people having a preconceived notion about Pokemon investors and Pokemon investing channels and them having a negative connotation. And the reason I get it is things like this. When new sets get released, you always have people making videos with titles and thumbnails saying, "Should you invest in Twilight Masquerade?" And it's like, okay. No, you shouldn't. Like, let's be honest. Okay, if you can get in at distributor pricing or you can find boxes in the 80s, then sure, right? Get in at a good entry point. Understand you're going to be sitting on them a while, but you did get in probably at the lowest you're going to see. And don't worry about it. But is there a rush? Absolutely not. We are going to see these boxes, I'm sure, around the same price points within a range for the next 3, 6, probably 9 months, right? And the singles, most all of them will be cheaper than they are at pre-release or at release in 3 to 6 months. It's the way it works. Now, could there be some random card like a Magikarp and Paldea pop off and end up being worth more and say, "Alex, you were wrong. You made me miss out on that card"? Okay, there may be some one-offs. Most every card is going to be lower than it is right now. Don't FOMO. Don't rush. We're not in COVID anymore, right? This isn't One Piece. You don't need to buy at release or pre-release and fear of missing out. You got time. If you can find the right price point, you want to move in early, great. Just understand it's a long-term play. All right, with that being said, I just want to give my kind of synopsis or breakdown of what I think about the set and give you an honest opinion. So, is this Evolving Skies 2.0? No, absolutely not. I think everyone knows that. Is it the worst set I've ever seen? Absolutely not as well. I think it's pretty mid-range set, and I'll tell you why. First off, the pull rates are very hard. It's about the same as Temporal Forces. I've opened a good amount of these boxes. It seems to be about 2, maybe 3 SIRs per case. When, back in the earlier sets in Scarlet and Violet, it was about 1 to 2 SIRs per box, okay? Like, usually like 6 to 9 per case, which is pretty high. And so we're not quite at like alt art level hit rates, but we're somewhere in between alt arts and SIRs in the earlier Scarlet and Violet. So that's a good thing. I really like the hit rates being harder. That's going to be good for more product continuously being opened as time goes on. People trying to chase them. It'll probably allow the singles to hold more value the way we're seeing with Temporal Forces singles right now because they're hard to hit. So that's a good thing. I like that. Now, does it have enough heat to carry the set and actually make it valuable? I think it's got enough. Again, nothing to write home about and think it's like the greatest thing ever, but it's got enough, right? Decker Ninja, it's a sick card. Decker Ninja is enough to carry the set. Look at this. We've seen Tyranitar carry Battle Styles, which is rising. We've seen, Astral Radiance doesn't have a lot. It's got the Machamp, and then you could say, yeah, it's got the Dialga Palkia, and then you could say, well, it's got the Starmie V and the Garchomp, but what else? What else can you really name off the top of your head? I mean, Astral Radiance doesn't have a lot. It's pushing $200 here soon. And so, can Twilight Masquerade be a very decent, solid mid-range set? Absolutely. It's got the Greninja. It's got the Carmen, which, by the way, let's switch gears here. Not that I'm like a huge trainer or waifu guy. I do like the cards, but one thing cool about the waifus and the trainers in this set is the eyes. Look at the eyes. They put that SIR texturing around the eyes, so it's like the eyes really pop because the texturing's around the eyes. It's not around the character, but then it's around the rest of the card. So it really makes the eyes pop out of you. It's like a little creepy, but a little cool as well. You're like, oh, I see you staring at me, and so it's pretty cool. I like the SIR trainers in this set. But I think it's got a few SIRs that are going to be chased after, and I think the illustration rares are actually really strong. Right, the Eevee. The Eevee could be one of those cards. Probably not as crazy as Magikarp, but like we're seeing with Tyranitar and Paldea, like we're seeing with the Groudon and Paradox. We could see some of these these IRs actually pop off and pass a lot of the regular SIRs, especially the Eevee. Maybe the Tatsugiri gets a little heat. The Infernape looks really great. There's the Chansey, the Pinsir, but there's a lot of great IRs in this set that may actually outperform some of the SIRs because, there's more popular Pokemon, better looking cards, things like that. But, I think if a set has a good, 3, 4, 5, good hits, whether it be IRs or SIRs to chase after, it's enough, right? It's what we see with Astral Radiance. There's probably less with Battle Styles, and I think it's enough. And so what you have to ask yourself is that enough to make it make sense to move in for you? I'm not really a set picker anymore. I diversify across all the sets. I do kind of, set pick a little bit where I'll maybe get a little larger positions in some of the sets I believe in, like Paldea Evolve, like Temporal Forces. Maybe go a little lighter on sets I don't really believe in, but I like to have a little bit of everything, because here's the thing, guys. I've been around long enough to know that I'm not smart enough to always pick the sets. If I go back to XY, I couldn't have told you that Furious Fists would have been a high performer, right? If I went to Sun and Moon, I couldn't tell you that Forbidden Light would outperform Burning Shadows, right? I couldn't have told you that, right? I couldn't have told you that Furious Fist would outperform Breakthrough, right? If I were to go back and pick at release, I would have, picked Breakthrough over Furious Fist. I would have picked Burning Shadows, which I did actually pick Burning Shadows, over Forbidden Light. I moved into cases of Burning Shadows back when it was out, and I did not buy into cases of Forbidden Light. And so I got it wrong, right? And so I know I'm not smart enough to be a set picker, and honestly, the ones you get right, the ones you get wrong, a lot of the times they're going to level out anyway if you would have just diversified into all of them. And so that's the route I take now. It's safer, it's smoother, it's easier. Now, if you're really good at it, you just knew, Alex, I knew it was going to be Evolving Skies and Lost Origin, I went all in on those two sets, well, hey, congrats, I'm happy for you. You're smarter than me, right? And so, am I telling you to skip this set or buy this set? Neither. If you want to round out your portfolio and get some of it, I think it'll probably do relatively well. Where am I putting it right now in Scarlet and Violet with just seeing it? Here's kind of my tier list. I have Paldea and Temporal at the top. I think both those are the front runners right now. And then I'd probably put sets like Paradox, and then Twilight Masquerade would be right there in the middle, above sets like, Base Set or Obsidian Flames. So that's kind of where I put Twilight Masquerade for the time being. Once the whole era's rounded out and we have all 12 booster boxes, if the second half is as good as everyone thinks it's going to be, it might be one of the lower tiers. But again, go back and look at the lower tier XY or Sun and Moon sets. Not the worst ones, right? Because this is not going to be the worst. But look at the, bottom, the third, fourth, fifth from the bottom. They're all doing fine. They're hundreds of dollars. You made hundreds of % gain, and you just never know what cards in each set are going to pop out or pop off. So, overall, I think Twilight Masquerade, it's got enough. It did enough to be considered strong enough. It's got hard pull rates. I think there are cards in there that people are going to chase after. You never know what the next generation or the kids now think of, some of the cards that maybe you or I that are older don't really connect to. And so that could always be a thing in the future. But that's kind of my overall thoughts about Twilight Masquerade. It's a good filler set. It's decent. It'll get us through. It'll get us through to the next set, and it'll probably do relatively decent over time. If Scarlet Violet Base and Obsidian Flames end up being $200, I could see this being $250, $300 when that happens. That's all I'm really saying. We're talking years out, by the way, guys. Years out. I'm not saying this is going to go to $200 a box this year or next year, right? We still don't have some of these Sword and Shield boxes there. So just remember, this is a long-term game, right? Same thing as when you throw money in a mutual fund or an S&P index. You're thinking 6, 7 years to double your money. Well, just think 4, 5, 6 years to double your money, and I think you'll be all right in a lot of these sets, in my opinion. But that's where I see Twilight Masquerade. As far as the singles go, hey, pay attention. Right? There might be some crazy ups and downs, crazy moves. I'm sure there'll be some buyouts trying to be had with the singles. I'm sure maybe something like the Eevee or one of these IRs will go to the moon and do something crazy and jump past the line of a lot of the SIRs. I'm sure there's going to be some crazy moves, and so there's probably going to be plays to be made. But so keep your eye out there. Don't get caught if you're wanting to collect the set. Don't get caught into one of those hypes thinking, the cards are so scarce that you're never going to be able to find any if you don't get it now. Don't get caught up in that. More will hit the market. It's okay. And, guys, just keep being smart. Keep being reasonable with it, and you'll continue to do well in this hobby. That's all I got, guys. Go enjoy the rest of the day with your family and friends. Have some food. I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. I'm out.